the coronavirus.
This is their new hoax.
We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
One day it's like a miracle, it will disappear.
When you have 15 people, and within a couple of days it's going to be down to close to zero, we really think we've done a great job in keeping it down to a minimum.
I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
You've tuned into Stranger Than Fiction News.
Right door saying the man's dead. The man's not dead. He just saw him 5 minutes ago being taken by the police. Now these are coming here in their little suits telling us this man's dead, and this man is not dead. We have just seen the police. We have just seen the police take him to the hospital 5 minutes ago. You are liars. You are spreading fear for no reason. No one died in this building today.
Broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. How's everybody doing out there? Ladies and gentlemen, UK coronavirus home lockdown may last till June. Pay attention to what's happening in the UK, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll probably get the same sauce over here. Lockdown until June, and this will just keep trucking on forever. This is the forever virus. This is the Trump virus. Trump let it in. He owns the virus. You may not like that reasoning, but all of these politicians are guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, don't ask us what the video guy is doing right now. Video guys.
Right door saying the man's dead. The man's not dead. He just saw him 5 minutes ago being taken by the police.
Now this is a very important video, ladies and gentlemen, because we're seeing the Wuhan syndrome, right? This is exactly what we said. They're going to come into buildings. They're going to say, somebody's been infected. You all have to leave. And come into the camps. Come into, our whatever FEMA centers and the like. You're going to be seeing more and more of these hoaxes. This lady called them out on it. They already had the flyers pre-printed, prepared. They are going to distribute it to everyone in the building, warning them that they can't leave. It won't be long before they're actually sealing buildings shut. We're seeing that they're going door to door in Rhode Island and in Texas. Trying to figure out if you're infected, and then they'll tell you you can't leave. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be like Boris. Boris didn't wash his hands with this airborne virus. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that? Airborne virus, and they're like, wash your hands, bitches. Wash your hands. This was like, being played on the NHS every day. Wash your hands. Don't wear masks. And whatever you do, don't take the Zithromax and the hydroxychloroquine, because that may save you. They're so just trying to milk this for everything that it's worth. They want to kill and exterminate as many people as they can. Any doubters out there, you're going to see it for yourselves. And, we played the videos 2 months ago of what was going on at the height of the epidemic in Wuhan. And we're like, this is like looking into the future. This is exactly what we're going to see in our cities in months. And it's begun. And, the body bags are, beginning to pile up. The hospitals are starting to implode. And now they're going door to door, trying to prepare people for the liquidation. So we're just like a baby step away from, them burying people alive in the buildings and the full liquidation of buildings and cities and the like. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. You've been warned for months. You see on the left here how they're kicking everybody out, and then they're sealing the building shut, and all these people end up into going into some processing center. We got a lot of news to cover. We're going to try and do that, ladies and gentlemen. What did the video guy do? Where is the video guy? But it's beginning out there in the UK. They're a step ahead of everybody else all of a sudden, and they're going door to door like this. They'll be doing wellness checks, temperature checks, and the like. Laboratories that deal with animal health are petitioning the government to let them help with testing, and they're not being met with any type of affirmative action, if you know what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a nice little copy of the paperwork people have to fill out in France just to go out. And you'll notice the nice little socialist stamp here. But you basically have to declare your business, and you have to date it with a timestamp. You get 1 hour, ladies and gentlemen. They let this virus in, and then they basically turn everyone into an inmate. You can't go out. You are now an inmate in your house. Your rights have been suspended because we let this virus in, ladies and gentlemen.
The coronavirus.
This is their new hoax.
We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
One day it's like a miracle, it will disappear.
When you have 15 people, and within a couple of days it's going to be down to close to zero, we really think we've done a great job in keeping it down to a minimum.
I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it.
This is Trump's virus. He let it in. Everybody was warning them. We're hearing, the intelligence agencies were trying to warn this president. They wouldn't listen. Why? Because it's part of the plan. It's part of the Crimson Contagion plan. It's part of the Event 201 plan. And there was some psyops going on with the World Games. But, this was a New World Order effort on both sides of the Pacific and both sides of the Atlantic. New World Order against you, the people. And in every country, we're seeing the exact same standard operating procedure. Every president becomes a wartime president. All the rights are suspended. Constitutions are suspended. A state of emergency. They knew for months that this was coming. They could have averted the worst. Instead, they made it as bad as it could possibly be. We were warning people way back during the Super Bowl. Don't go to the Super Bowl parties. This thing is running around out there. Start prepping. And the like. We're hearing that in France they're saying that old people will not be taken care of, according to this press article. That's to be verified. But essentially every country is going to be putting in place death panels, lotteries, and they're forced to choose who gets a ventilator and who doesn't. And eventually, they're going to choose younger people instead of older people to ventilate. And that's just a given. But they seem to have, some kind of official orders that were published. Here we're getting some information from France again in a series of news. They've got some kind of prison official that died in his home. And so this is how most of the cases are going out. They're sending people to die at home. No tests, no medication, no cure, when everybody could be on the Zithromax and the chloroquine right now. They're not talking about it, right? Instead, they're just sending people to their deaths. That's what they're doing, right? This is the combo that should be in every, drugstore in America, over the counter, like, an antacid. If they were really serious about, flattening the curve, they would put this in everybody's mailbox today, yesterday. We've been waiting a month for them to do tests. We'll be waiting 2 months before they actually, test a fraction of the people out there. And then we'll wait months and more months before they distribute the medication. And they could have given this medication day one, like iodine tablets, and saved a lot of lives. Because this medication isn't a new discovery. This is what they used for SARS 1.0. Okay? That's how they know. So, whatever they're doing out there, it's to kill as many people as they can. It's just like the death towers. It's just like the vaccines. It's just like the fluoride. And you can be a hater or a libtard if you want to. But this virus is coming to get you. And, Trump let it in, and all of these, people in Congress that are supposedly Democrats, they were selling their stocks. Republicans too, let's be honest. They were getting the secret briefings, and they were selling their stocks and telling people it'll be okay. Now check this out. Thermometers from China, supposed to help you, right? It's supposed to detect, look, nothing in it. It's just random numbers flashing on the screen. Right, these things don't work, but that won't stop some kind of Nazi saying that you're positive out there. They're gonna go door to door. It's libtards pretty much. It's It's going to be the new recruits going door to door, you know, subjects of the public school indoctrination. So they're going to see your Trump banner and they're going to be like, ha ha ha, you're positive, bitch. You know what I mean? In any case, this is the current testing model. You know, they could be doing something easier than this. And this doesn't even work. It's disgusting. Let's see. Looking at this tweet here. This is from an ER doctor out there at wherever. And they're saying that they got a hospital empty while all the other ones are overflowing. So what's going on with this hospital? ER doctor who criticized Bellingham Hospital's coronavirus protections has been fired. And we're hearing this across the board in every country. They don't have the materials they need. They got liquidated before it actually hit our shores. And this was, you know, what we were talking about when the China thing was hitting at its peak. We're like, you know, they're sending all of our supplies over there when this thing is just about to blow up in everybody's town. And it looks like they did it on purpose. You know, they basically wanted to make sure that nobody would get saved. And in the first wave, all the doctors and nurses are going to get taken out. And then when the second wave comes, good luck out there. You know what I mean? That's why they need to get the Zithromax out there to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see the news? Governor Cuomo called out the president, saying he's trying to start a war with the states. This federal government has done nothing but fuck everyone over since the beginning, with the tests, with their policies, with their rhetoric, with their pride. And now everybody is paying the price. And they're still, you know, trying now, you know, the president wanted to declare, you know, some kind of special quarantine martial law at the federal level in these cities and these states. And the governor's like, fuck you. And I think that should be everybody's response here to Trump and all these shills that sold their stocks while letting everybody die. You know, this is their virus, ladies and gentlemen. This is their virus.
The coronavirus.
This is their new hoax.
We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
One day it's like a miracle, it will disappear.
When you have 15 people, and within a couple of days it's going to be down to close to zero, we really think we've done a great job in keeping it down to a minimum.
I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
It was perfect. This plan was perfect, he said. And then, of course, we had Pompeo say that this was a live exercise. You know, then they shipped his ass to Afghanistan the very next day. So talk about reprisals. But look, we saw this coming in the Deagle report, right? How do you think it goes from 300 million people down to 69 million people? The virus, man. This has been planned for years. For years. How many years is the question? At least since 2016. Maybe before. And you really have to wonder, you know, what does Obama know? You haven't heard much of Obama lately. He's just sitting out there in his bunker somewhere. What does Obama know? Obama is ISIS, remember, ladies and gentlemen. So this is your future. Take a good look at it. See this? Hold on, let's zoom in for you. See these prisoners? You're already an inmate in the ghetto. You're waiting for extraction. And it's going to be the National Guard that extracts you. You know, they're just following orders, ladies and gentlemen. You can't blame them. And you're not going to want to do anything because, you know, they're supposed to be there to protect us. And just wait. Just wait for it. They're going to turn into the goon squads before you know what happened. And you're going to end up like this. Being shipped off somewhere to some kind of crematorium because you're positive. Because they let this thing in. And why are they going to do that? Because this is a forever virus. And people don't ever get immunity to it. It relapses like herpes. And all of a sudden you become a super spreader again. And so they're going to have to take out all the people that were infected, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what they did in Wuhan. You know, the live cameras are back, but there's really nobody there. You know, they've let people, they've lifted the restrictions. And it looks like actors, you know, a couple people in cars driving around. It's not a city of 12 million people or 20 million people. And they're missing 21 million people according to the phone records. That came out. Why, ladies and gentlemen?
And when it got down to the plane is 10 miles out, the young man also said to the vice president, "Do the orders still stand?" And the vice president turned and whipped his neck around and said, of course the orders still stand.
Of course the orders still stand. You've seen the Georgia Guidestones. You know what these people are about, ladies and gentlemen. Getting back to the news, civil war looms. The federal government's got to go. It needs to go back to the federal government of the 1920s. You know, the Supreme Court has come in and given the executive all sorts of new powers since the 1920s. You know, first one thing, then another, and now it's like the tyranny that we tried to escape from back in 1776. And of course it's a tyranny. That's why, the Constitution is set up the way it is. You have the right to free speech. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to your religion. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney, because the government is not your friend. No cruel or an unusual punishment, speedy trials, jury of your peers, because the government is not your friend. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it means to be an American. That's why it was set up the way it was set up. And you were never supposed to be in a situation like this. But we've just let it happen through complacency. At least Cuomo is standing up to this federal tyranny. Democrat or Republican doesn't really matter. Everybody should be pushing back against federal authority at this stage. They've let it in. They sold their stocks. They misled everybody. They basically betrayed everyone, and they've tried to kill everyone with this virus. That makes them criminals. They have no legal authority. They have no moral authority. These people are part of the problem, not part of the solution. They're rolling out the death towers. They've made 5G a national security priority to put a death tower across the street from your house. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are not your friends. They let Hillary go. They locked up Assange. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on. The bodies keep piling up in Europe as well, ladies and gentlemen. Their numbers are a little more advanced than our numbers, but we're sorry about that. We're seeing, convoys of dead people. Does Trump think he can bomb the coronavirus? I mean, he was out here.
In my life, and there are a lot of them. And the most highly lethal ships that I have ever seen in my life, and there are a lot of them.
He's just grandstanding wherever he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Remember about the evils that come from the heart. One of them is pride. This is the most, egotistical president we've ever had, I think, ladies and gentlemen. His head is bigger than the Goodyear blimp. More people dropping dead. This is in China, but it continues. It hasn't stopped. This is the forever virus. The Hong Kong flu of 1968, which was timed out with the revolutions of 1968, another bioweapon, undoubtedly, now that we think about it. But that killed 31,000 people in France alone, and they made it seem like it was no big deal. Now, here's an interesting reply to David Icke's claim that, this virus is fake. Of course, all possibilities are on the table, but this is the most extravagant psyop we've seen just yet. That doesn't mean that they're letting a crisis go to waste, but the virus seems real enough. This lady here from Michigan saying that she's presently in the hospital in Flint. They have 4 floors of nothing but COVID, ladies and gentlemen. So, and we're getting, lots of reports from ER doctors and the like. So never forget who let this virus in. And this isn't just in the UK, in America. This is in the UK. This is in France. All of these New World Order governments basically have let this virus in. They're trying to minimize their responsibility by saying they were listening to the advice of doctors and specialists. How convenient. What nice, plausible deniability. But there was an army of people screaming about, what's going on here. They had 2 months to prepare. And, everybody's short on masks, ventilators, and the like. And by the time they, supply what's needed, tons of people are going to be dead. Their blood is on their hands here. This blood is on their hands. It's just like the Kurdish genocide. You don't think these people care about you, ladies and gentlemen. And check this out. This is the new and improved sprayer. Look at that gas cloud that they're spraying. Look at this. I mean, this thing is something else. And I think we'll be seeing this in a town near you. City buses will be automatically, you know, doing this as they go by. Ladies and gentlemen, look at all these flights that are still going on, you know, in America right now, bringing the virus from big city to big city. And it's just ricocheting. And I mean, this thing is never going to stop. They're locking everybody down, but all these planes are still flying. Okay, then. This was rather interesting. A mayor was caught on the hot mic going to the bathroom, and it's exactly what you would expect. And then he comes
Would be an
back.
empty gesture. So
then the mayor comes back. That's the mayor. I just took a big shit right there during city council. That's extravagant. That's who's ruling you at the city level. I mean, it's just dumb fucks everywhere. These people aren't qualifying to lead. They're just part of this club. And, you know, we've detailed what that club is. A bunch of Luciferian child molesters. You know, as it was exposed in the Podesta emails, the WikiLeaks. Why do you think they went after Julian Assange, ladies and gentlemen? And, you know, and the like. Chelsea Manning and the like. Here's the coronavirus timeline. And as you can see, it's like, you know, we got 100,000 new cases every 2 days now. It won't be long before there's 1 million cases worldwide. How long will it be? Ladies and gentlemen, India is just taken off, and there's, you know, all sorts of video. Oh, for fuck's sakes. There's all sorts of video of, you know, them packed in like sardines. You know, this is going to just run rampant out there. So, and we're getting some, you know, real bad video of like them trying to contain it. Here's a little girl struggling to breathe. This disease is horrible, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, people are suffocating because of this. We recommend herbal anti-inflammatories like turmeric. You know, you should be eating 2 tablespoons of turmeric a day, about 3 teaspoons of baking soda mixed in with water, lots of water, cranberry juice, detox, get some detox for the lungs, for the kidneys, for the liver, boost your immune system, get off the Wi-Fi, get plenty of sleep, get magnesium and zinc in you until you can get the real meds if you want. But we're getting all sorts of reports of everything coming from China right now, from masks, the tests, the thermometers. They're all not working. So it's like they want you to die. So we should be, you know, we should be building or making all of these products. And these masks don't work. I mean, it's better than nothing, but these masks don't work. P100s or N100s don't work. N95s don't work. You need like the full-blown outbreak respirator, and still that might not even work. And in any case, right now it's pretty much too late. Everybody's been infected, but you want to keep your viral load down. And if you go shopping, you want to wear protection gloves, masks, and if you can bear it, you know, goggles or some kind of visor or fake glasses or something. But reduce your viral load at all times. If you got multiple people in your house, everybody's infected, so isolate. You know, keep doing everything you can to bring the virus load down, the community virus load down in your house. Disinfect the bathrooms and every day in the kitchen, but don't start spraying shit in your living area because it'll irritate the lungs. So, you know, they want everybody to power clean with the bleach. That's just going to accelerate the disease. Air out, especially when you're cooking. Very important. 100,000 masks from China return because they don't meet quality standards. They don't work. Man quarantine runs out naked, bites woman to death. We're getting more cases of, or more examples of this being some kind of like, you know, rabies as well. And, you know, there is evidence of stealth encephalitis with this virus, just like rabies. So, you know, we think that we're going to see a lot of crazy shit out there. Half rabies, half Alzheimer's, and the like. So look at this thing. I mean, this thing is just wild, man. Just wild. Immunity passports for people free from infection. Yeah, okay then. So, you know, this is building up to the chip, of course, and the like. That's why you got to resist it now, all of it. You know, stop what they're doing. This is their plan. They're in control, so you've got to civilly disobey. Civil disobedience. Tell them to go fuck themselves. Restore our constitutional rights. Nobody appointed them. You know, the imperial masters. Look, we need new elections, new political parties, and all of these people that betrayed America, all these traitors, they need to be deported or put in prison. Some people would say they need to hang, but I think that'll be, you know, up for the courts to decide. If we had real courts, civilians are gone. The military is now in charge, according to this Arizona press release. Check everything out on our website, stfnreport.com. New and improved. It's kick ass. Check out our website. Never miss an update, and we update often out there. Continue to top off your supplies, buy necessities, and the like, because, you know, you may be looking at some serious disruptions in supply chains. This is in the state of Washington. The crows know. It's like the movie The Birds. But we saw this in China too. I mean, everything is just like a repeat. You know, how long before the locusts show up is the question. Probably this summer. I mean, wouldn't be surprised. But this is a bad sign. There's dead bodies somewhere. That's why the crows are there. So there must already be like mass burial pits in Washington, and they're hiding the numbers. That would be, you know, an educated, you know, guess at this stage. But when you see stuff like this usually means there's dead bodies, or there's about to be dead bodies. They can smell it. They know, you know, the buffet is coming. You know what I mean? Huge tornado rips through Jonesboro. So you probably saw that video. I mean, it wasn't that huge, really. But, you know, this will add to the misery right now. You're locked down. Now where do you go? FEMA camp for sure. These people are fucked. Pardon the language. Fools cheering their own imprisonment. Calling Boris timid risks unleashing forces deadlier than the virus. And that's this martial law that's coming, you know. The mass extermination. Experts fear that food supplies to 5,000 care homes could fail within weeks as wholesalers go under during the market crash. I think we're going to see a lot of disruptions in the supply chain. Maintain your supplies. Find days and times that you can go to the grocery store where there's not a lot of people, and, you know, keep topping off your food supply and everything. U.S. government is tracking American cell phones to see how they move and spread. Tell us another one. You know, they're tracking everybody. They're waiting for it. And tell us what you guys are seeing on the ground. You know, any new checkpoints? What's your situation like? What have you seen? Let us know in the comments, especially. It'll be easier for people, you know, that are watching this after the live show. How's everybody doing out there? Anybody out there? Anybody out there in the live show? Looks like, yeah, the thing is just spinning. Anyways, much love to everybody out there. Few people, major censorship. I mean, they're clamping down on anyone that's covering this. They want nothing but their information out there. Coronavirus patients in intensive care have a kill rate of 50%. Most people that go into intensive care never come out. So we're getting more and more information. But let's not skip this. New York Governor Cuomo says Trump has declared war on the states and civil rights. Trump wants to be just like Hitler. You know, Trump's a German name, by the way. And he let this virus in and then suspended the Constitution. He has become the ultimate traitor of the Republic. Never forget that, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see, number of coronavirus cases in Spain surges to 80,000, pretty much China numbers, twice as many people dead. And this is still the beginning of the outbreak. You know, every country has, you know, all these countries have like 50 million people. It's going to run through and kill, you know, 5% of that at least. So Someone will have to explain to Americans why the U.S. has been transformed into a third world country in the matter of a few decades. Nursing manager at Mount Sinai West Hospital in New York City, where staff was forced to wear trash bags, dies at the age of 48. National Guard police go door to door searching for New Yorkers escaped from New York. Zinc is being used to treat ICU patients. There's been a buzz about zinc for at least 10 years in its antiviral properties. We recommend getting the full daily allowance, ladies and gentlemen. Now, some of you might be, wondering what's going on out there. When's it going to get better? And just remember what it says in Mark 4:40. And he said unto them, why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And this was, during the storm on the lake. This is like a big storm, and or the sea, we should say, of Galilee. And it's a big storm, and they're worried. They feel like, they might go under. Don't be afraid out there, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll have to leave it there. Again, yesterday's news is up there in the archives. Be sure to check out the video archives. And remember, whose world this is. Remember who sent you out there, ladies and gentlemen. God's in control. And, Sodom and Gomorrah is about to burn here. Don't look back at Sodom. It's over. We tried to help them. They didn't want to listen. And we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Till the next time. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.